Hi, I'm Amanda and you're watching The Reading and Writing Life. Today's video is all about the books I've read recently. If you're new, I do this a little differently. I don't sit here and show you all the books that I've read. I actually have clips of everything that I've read up to now, and I film it like that because I want to remember what I want to say about the book, so I need to film it quickly. Here we go. So get ready for some weird hair, some tired eyes, and some really good books. Okay, well, this is our guest room, and I'm about to get ready because I have to go run a couple of errands, but I wanted to just stop in right quick and tell you about these two really short books that I just read the other night. One of them is actually not even a novella, like it's straight up a short story, and it is in the Plus catalog. It's called Date Night. I'll move over. It's called Date Night, and it's about a lawyer who is wanting to get this guy off of death row, well, commute his sentence, is that what it's called? Where they, instead of him getting the death penalty, he's just gonna have life in prison. And the serial killer, like, clearly says, yeah, I did it. That's why I'm here on this earth, is to kill people. And so there's just that dilemma between the lawyer going like, I don't believe in the death penalty. However, this guy is like, not great. So anyway, it was really short. It was like, I don't know how many pages it was because it's part of the Plus catalog on Audible, but it was an hour long maybe, or maybe even less than an hour. And so if you've seen my previous videos, when I get to the Plus catalog line on my TBR, I randomly have my phone give me a number depending on how many pull up. And if the one that they pick is really short, then I always have them pick another one. And so I got another one, and it's called Sleeping Dogs Lie. And both of them were listed as thrillers, by the way, which I normally do not read, but both of them were so good. Like, even like I said, that first one was a short story. This one is considered a novella. It was like 2.5 hours long, something like that. And okay, here's what this one's about. I don't really know how to describe either one of them because there are twists in the middle of the stories, and so I don't want to give too much away. But anyway, in the second book, Sleeping Dogs Lie, this one, the dog walker has dropped off the other dogs and she's bringing the last dog home, and she's got to go to the bathroom. And so she runs in the house to go to the bathroom, and the homeowner is dead in the bathroom floor. So she calls the police to report that she found the body, and the police come and they interview her, and they just find out that the homeowner was in the middle of a divorce. And so it just finds out that there's a whole lot more maybe between the two of them than just dog walker and dog owner. Anyway, and so a lot of stuff happens, and then it's over. So I can't say anything else about it except that it was good. It kept me guessing the whole time, and I figured it out right about the time that everybody else figured it out. So I didn't guess it early. Anyway, those two were really cute. That was my Plus catalog reads for this round, and now I'm moving on to my next book. Okay, I have another book to talk about. This one is by one of my old authors, meaning somebody that I've already read before. That's what I call them. It's just a way for me to differentiate between the new authors and old authors, so that's what I call them. Anyway, this book is called Happily Letter After. I have it written up here so I can read it, mostly because I wanted to be able to remember both authors' names, but it's by Keeland and Penelope Ward. And the picture on the front of this is a little bit weird to me. Like, he looks like he's really stressed out and having a bad day. But anyway, the premise of it was actually kind of cute. I'm not usually into the single dad trope, but this one was just super cute. The main character, female, works at a newspaper or a magazine, and she writes articles about dating, but she also does the Santa letters in December. But this is June, and she gets a letter to Santa from a little girl named Birdie, who is 10 years old. And her mom has been dead for like 4 years, I think. And she is just writing questions to ask who Santa is or if Santa is real. She said, I'm not sure that you're real, but I would really like some olives, and my dad needs some new socks because I saw him put a sock on that had a hole in it. And so the lady at the newspaper is like, okay, I guess I'm gonna do this, because also she lost her mother when she was 6 years old, about the same age as Birdie. And so anyway, she decides to mail her some olives and a pair of socks. And so then she gets a letter back from the girl, and she's like, oh my gosh, you're real, I didn't know you were real. Like, it's just really cute. And she kind of falls in love with the daughter first before she ever even meets Birdie's dad. So that part was just really cute to me, and I really liked it. It's just a nice romance. There's just not a lot of angst in it, and there's actually a lot more question revolving around other issues than the romance. And so it was cute, and there were a couple of little twists in there where I was like, oh wow, that's something new and different. And I listened to it on audio. It's read by two of my favorite audio voices or whatever. So if you could listen to it on audio, I would definitely recommend doing that. They're just some of my favorites. I like the way they work together. I like the way she does male voices better than I like his female voices, but still, I just like them. And I like this combination of the two of them together. So anyway, I definitely recommend that you check it out if you like romances. I'm gonna read it right here. It's called In the Market for Murder by T.E. Kinsey. This is a Lady Hardcastle mystery. Now, I'm already laughing because I have to tell y'all, if you have not read, this is book number 2. If you haven't read any of them, then I definitely suggest that you go get them. The first book, actually, when I've read the first book, I kind of thought that it was boring, and I thought this is going to be hard for me to get into. It is one of those cozy mysteries that is also set in England. I feel like that's a theme with me for a lot of books, but this is a Lady Hardcastle. She's a widow, and her lady's maid, whose name is Flo. Well, her name is Florence, but Lady Hardcastle calls her Flo. And it had one of the funniest scenes that I think I have read in a long time. And it could be the fact that I have teenagers, and so that's the humor level that I'm at. Honestly, I probably am always at that humor level, but there was a man in this book whose name was Nelson Snelson. Like, his last name was Nelson with an S in front of it, Snelson. And so Lady Hardcastle, this is, by the way, in the early 1900s, like late enough after 1900 that they have cars, but before 1910. So somewhere in those 10 years between 1900 and 1910 is when this is set. And so Lady Hardcastle and Flo live together in a house that they're renting. They've traveled all over the place. They've kind of been spies, but nobody pays attention to them because it's just a lady and her lady's maid. And so they can get away with a ton of stuff. Anyway, back to the name. So they're both standing there, and somebody says something about a Mr. Snelson, to which one of them says, no, I think his name's just Nelson, or maybe the S was missing. And he said, no, his name is Nelson Snelson. Well, Lady Hardcastle got so excited, and she was like, Flo, we're changing your last name to Lawrence, so your name will be Florence Lawrence. And then Flo said, only if we change yours to Emily Bimley. And for some reason, I thought that was so funny. Like, just the way they interact with each other and the way they talk to each other is so funny. Like, one time Flo comes in Lady Hardcastle's room to wake her up in the morning, and she's like, why are these clothes on the floor? And Lady Hardcastle's like, well, I was too injured to pick them up. And she said, that's only going to work for so long. Lady Hardcastle got injured at the end of the first book. And so she's like, that's only going to work for so long. And you need to pick up your own clothes. And she said, isn't that what you're here for? So it's just funny that they kind of go back and forth like that with each other, and you can just tell that they're really best friends. Like Lady Hardcastle will get invited to somewhere that technically a lady's maid is not supposed to go, and she'll just say, can Flo come along? I need her with me. And everybody's like, okay, sure. And they just let her get away with it. So anyway, they help the police solve crime. And that's basically what they do. And in this one, it's called In the Market for Murder, and there is a murder at the market, and they are helping solve the murder. And that's it. I like it. It's funny. It's so much better than the first book. And so this was kind of like my trial book to see if I was going to keep going with this series, and I for sure am going to keep going. It is wonderful to be read out loud. The narrator does a great job of all the different voices. There's even a guy who they describe that he pronounces things in a weird way, and she does his voice exactly right. It's great on audio. That's what I would recommend. Hey, I am about to go to bed, but I wanted to tell you about a book that I just finished before I actually go to bed. It is one of my old authors. I've already read like 2 or 3 books from her, and so I was surprised about this one. It's called Love Story by Layne. Okay, yeah, this is the 3rd book in her series and the 3rd book that I've read by her, and I was just disappointed in this book. What I liked about it was that it had a cool road trip that we didn't get to hear as much about as I would have liked to. I love road trip books. This is a romance, of course. Our main characters knew each other practically their whole lives. The male character is best friends with the female character's brother. And so they've always grown up together, and they actually ended up being really good friends when they were only like 10 and 11. And so we get some flashbacks where we have present day and then past and then present and past. Anyway, they started secretly dating when she was 18 and he was 19. And he kept expecting her to leave. He knew that she was going to leave to go to college because she had these big dreams that she wanted to do in college. And so instead of figuring out how to make it work while she was at college, he texted her to come over to the house, and then texted his ex-girlfriend to come over to the house and pretended to be kissing her, or was kissing her, when the girl showed up. And so anyway, just made her think that he was cheating on her, and she left and she went to college. And my problem with this book, and this is going to have spoilers in it, if you want to read it, then I guess skip this, but my problem with this is that she continually had to come back to him. Like, I told you what happened. Like, he set it up where it looked like he was cheating on her, and when she was like, what are you doing? And she just left the house, he didn't come after her, he didn't apologize, he didn't say anything about any of it. And so she left and she went to college, and then it's like 5 or 6 years later when the story takes place, and when we first meet him from his point of view, he's like, there's the woman that broke my heart. I want to be like, no sir, that was all on you. That was all on you. Anyway, so then they spend this 2 weeks going on this road trip and end up hooking up again on the road trip, and then as soon as they get back to their places, they just split up again, and they cannot have a conversation. Like, I hate in these books when all the issues and all the problems with them comes down to not communicating. Like, I can't stand it. If that's the only way you can put tension in your characters, then you go ahead and do that, but I'm not reading them. And this is the 3rd book I read by her, and I liked the other 2 books, so I'm gonna try the next one. But if it's like this, I'm probably not gonna read anymore. So I gave it 3 stars, which you know is my lowest rating. So for a book that I finished, at least, I gave it 3 stars. And yeah, that's it. So hopefully the next one will be better. Actually, I'm already started it, and it is better. So that's it for this video. If you liked any of the books, or if you want to read them or have read any of them, let me know. I would love to talk about it. As always, I would like to do a buddy read. If anybody's interested, comment down below and we will set something up. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you won't miss anything that's coming up. I'll see you on my next video. Bye.